Welcome, friends, to Figures Not Included, episode 11. With my cohort, Michael, the Dark
Welcome.
Lord of the Beef.
Dark
used his,
Lord of the Beef.
he's used his evil treachery and manipulation of the Force to resurrect the fallen comrade.
One most evil and white, the ghost of Larry.
He returns to us. The worms have been expelled.
It's all his bearded glory.
The worms did not hold me down.
You got him.
I killed the women worms.
For
And the
joining us
children
again
worms.
here on episode 11. We're very excited. Today is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you guys, especially
And also
you,
with you.
Michael, and you, David.
Welcome back, Laszlo. How you
What
feeling?
is that, David? Is that your wife's
to be
panties? What was that you had on your...
Hey, that's an inside information.
That's insider baseball.
What?
Yep, the worms are gone. I got a clean bill of health from all the doctors and scientists and everyone that looked up in there.
Good.
I'm good to go.
You had a real extensive cavity search.
It was rough.
Made sure you were squeaky clean, right, David?
Oh, I squeak very much now.
He's a squeaker.
I think there's an
Oh.
extra orifice now. So
We're very excited to have you
excited
back.
to have you back. Welcome, Larry. Welcome, one and all, to Figure Not Included. I'm Mikey, of course. This is Ed and Larry. Thank you guys for being here. Always fun to talk with y'all about all the great stuff in the toy world. And then, like Star Wars, May the 4th. I found a renewed love for Star Wars recently. It's hit me again. I started watching Andor, and I've been really into it, actually.
Isn't it fun how Star Wars seems to be like that? That a lot of people, there's a lot of love-hate with Star Wars. And some people sometimes, they are disappointed. They get kind of fed up with it. They walk away. But for some reason, it always kind of calls you back and you find something else that gets you excited. And then those feelings that always, come up with Star Wars that you enjoy and all the happiness brings people just come flooding back. And then you're right back in it. You're ready to,
I want more.
Exactly. Anakin knows. You get in there and you feel all the goodness of what Star Wars brings to people. So it's really nice to be able to get re-excited about something, re-energize that Star Wars love and get yourself back into the game. So yeah, I think Andor is definitely bringing back a lot of people who's kind of stepped away maybe from Star Wars for a little bit. I know, Mikey, you just kind of binged the whole first season recently and moving into season 2. Tell us your thoughts, please.
Easily my favorite thing Star Wars had done since the sequels. The squeakles were, like they had their place and just kind of waiting for the right thing from Star Wars to come out. Mandalorian, I give or take, has its moments, but I think through and through, Andor just really hit that spot. I love the espionage. I love the thriller. I love getting that sort of inside knowledge of how the Empire works, which I've always been curious about. And so it's been really cool seeing how it all comes together. I just started season 2. I'm into that as well. Like every TV show, they have their pitfalls, and sometimes it lulls a little bit. But I think overall, it's been pretty damn good.
How many episodes are out right now of season 2?
6.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've got into this thing that I like to wait for a good chunk of the episodes to come out before I jump in, if not the whole season. So, 6 seems like a pretty good number, though. I think I might jump in and start watching it so I don't get too spoiled.
yeah, they're doing a drop of 3 episodes a week, so it's only a month and the season's done.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. 3 episodes a
And
week.
you get like a movie experience every week. It's pretty good.
That's pretty nice. I like that. 3 episodes a week. I think more shows should be that consistent. Give us a nice.
Yeah. It's enough to juice for a week, and then it leaves you wanting a little bit more. You don't feel like, oh man, I gotta wait this long for the next one, because nature of TV. Some episodes are a little bit more filler than others. And so I like this method for sure. And I only got 2 episodes left until the next batch, so I'm excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
You should call your friends at Disney, Michael, and tell them Keep this consistency. Give us the three at a
Hey,
time.
Kathy. Hey, what's up? So,
3 bumps.
I got an idea. How about we do it three? We do it threes. I think we should do that from now on. So,
Hey, I like it. I like you talk to them, Michael. I know you
I
know
try.
them.
I talked to them. They've blocked my number, but I've had like 17 phones. So, let's see if I
Just
get
keep
through.
in the burners.
You have, and before we get into toy news, which there is a good amount to talk about. This is all very Star Wars heavy, which is exciting.
Yeah,
Do you
I don't know
have
if it's not on. This is
yeah?
definitely
Do you have
Star Wars themed.
what is your special Star Wars memory? If you have one,
What's Star Wars, Michael? I really like
what's
that
Star
episode where,
Wars?
like, the Klingons were invading and, s
Excuse me.
what?
No. Wrong one, baby. Wrong one, baby boy.
Hey,
Um,
let me go first. I got a good one. I like Star Wars. There's a lot of great stuff to talk about, like Star Wars. But the one time that I remember really kind of living it up with Star Wars was for my birthday party. I had a Star Wars themed birthday, and I put out there. I was like, please, everybody, if you can, come dressed as Star Wars. And everyone showed up dressed up as like really everybody went out. My family, friends, everybody
yeah,
really went out of their way to dress up.
yeah,
I know
everyone.
Larry was there.
Yep.
I actually have the mask Larry wore for that evening. Larry was Darth Maul.
Yeah, I still have the double bladed lightsaber too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so like everybody, my uncle dressed up. He was Count Dooku. He even made like little boots and everything. It was really awesome. And we had all sorts of stuff. We had Amidala, we had Gonk droids, we had Wookiees, Jawas. It was a really fun one, and it was just kind of neat because I felt special because everyone kind of went out of their way to do something really, really nice. I do remember, Michael, you weren't there.
I have asked for a photo from this event for I think the last 20 years. And apparently no one decided to take a photo or those photos burned somewhere like the body of Darth Vader because I had not seen and I remember Oscar he dressed up as a gong droid
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
and you all and I think
He even,
Jen
he even
was
he even had like real working lights, and it would go twiggy twiggy. That's
I
really
want to
funny.
see it. What happened?
It's
Yeah,
in
unfortunately,
here.
Mikey was
I was
pursuing his short-lived hockey career. He was out in
It was a really
Canada.
short hockey career. It was.
Weren't you? Yeah, that's what you were doing. You were in Canada at a hockey camp.
I went to Minnesota for a hockey camp and I cried the first night I got there because I want
oh,
to be on the Star Wars
Oh my goodness.
party. And my mom was
Aw.
like, "Shut up! You're gonna be at the hockey camp. You're gonna like it." And I did like it, but it was just like of all the times to go, it was during this most epic Star Wars party that I have no visual,
I know.
evidence of.
It was a real shame you weren't there. I mean, I think we all would have had so much fun, but,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to those pictures. Honestly, I would wanna know where it happened. I know we have some, but who knows where they went. Hopefully, they'll surface one of these days, and you'll be able to at least, see what you missed out on visually instead of just
I hate you. That was me in Minnesota in the hockey
that
camp.
was you.
no.
What
Yeah.
okay, what about you, Michael, though? Besides,
Yeah, I
your
think
your hockey adventures, what else
that
did
was
you
I mean, that's my worst memory is not going to that. I mean, I have so many good ones of going to the midnight screenings, watching Yoda jump around for the first time, going, "Oh!" It was really, really exciting.
it was so gasmic.
It really was. But, um I think my favorite one was when we went to Comic-Con for the Star Wars panel, and we got to go outside. We saw the whole, John Williams concert, and we're hanging out, banging plastic lightsabers.
It was so
Um,
cool because it was like a sea of lightsabers. It was really cool. Like, they handed out lightsabers when you got in there, so everybody had one, so it was really fun.
yeah, and like mingling with like Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher. It's just
I
like
have a really nice picture with both of them. That was crazy. That was an
yeah,
experience.
yeah, and Donald Gleason was super cool, and Donald, but
Whoa!
Donald. So a lot of names to throw out there, but
Mikey loves
um,
dropping names.
oh man,
Drop
I drop
all
them
over
like
the
it's hot. It's like a hot potato with those names, man. Don't give me them names because I will share them.
Mikey,
Um, yeah,
he's
so that
really
was a really cool memory. What about you, Laszlo?
Oh, I mean, I'll go back to simpler times. When I was a kid, I remember
When he was a young woman.
going over to
Why do you keep calling us women? I don't understand this fascination.
there's something going on there. His therapist will
At the
pull that.
beginning of his
I don't
wow.
get it. I
The
don't get
first
it.
before I saw the movies, I went to a friend's house who had an older brother, and he had all the Star Wars toys. And I remember seeing, I'm like, "What the heck is this?"
Who
And
you
that
had an older
really
brother?
no, I went to a friend's house who had an older brother.
Oh, I
I
was gonna
had
say.
all the Star Wars toys, AT-AT, like everything. And I hadn't even seen Star Wars yet, and I was like, that began my love for toys, and
Star
collecting
Wars.
basically was my gateway drug into this whole thing. And
Mm.
You left that house all coked up.
yep,
Oh man,
chasing that
You were, like,
coke for the
powdered
rest
with Star Wars all over your
he was
face.
he was tweaking real hard seeing those Star Wars toys.
"Oh, give me another one."
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, I get it, man. Those Star Wars toys are awesome. Those power
Yeah,
I
they'll
mean,
get you. They'll
yeah, they'll
get you.
get you. I
They'll
mean,
get
Power of
hooked.
the Force stuff, hooked
It
me.
is
Hook,
a
line, and
nasty
sinker. But I mean, we
nasty
love the toys and we love all the modern stuff that's out there. And we got some toy news to share with you guys on this week's edition of Hot Toy News
Star
Star
Wars edition.
Wars. Yeah, man. We got the live stream from the Star Wars team at Hasbro. As you all know, last week they re-signed a deal with Disney, so we're going to see a lot more Star Wars toys. So, with a celebration of that, and May the 4th, they decided to do a stream going over a lot of different things. They had a lot of vintage collection. The Bantha stuff looks really cool. I'm not into the TVC stuff, but I know a lot of people are. Are you guys into TVC at all, or is it just strictly Black Series Hot Toys?
I am definitely still into the vintage collection. I started in 3/3/4 inch. I have a lot of 3/3/4 inch still. I especially like it because I'm a bit of an army builder in Star Wars, so most of my figures are in 3/3/4 inch for that because it's just too much to army build in 6 inch. And so I
Mhm.
still like it, but I'm addicted to the figures, so I love getting all the like cool new characters or like characters that kind of like this what do you call this thing? This what can't I remember the name of this thing? Help me out, guys.
The Bantha?
Bantha. Thank you. Man,
Husker Raider. Come
throw me
on,
a
man.
bone, guys. Um,
Really
uh,
boned it.
yeah, this Bantha is super, super cool. I don't really think I have anything this good looking in this,
So good looking.
these characters. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe this would be really cool because I don't have the Dewback. I have some other I have the Rancor, a couple other ones in 3/4 inch.
Oh,
So
gnarly teeth,
sweet.
man. I mean, everything about this. I love just like the actual,
Yeah, the
like the
fur.
hair they put onto the fur. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Did you guys know that those are actually Clydesdales that they put giant woolly things on for the movie?
nerd.
Really?
Mhm. I don't know how you drag out Clydesdales to the
Or
middle of the desert for this, but hey, they did it.
they did it, man. That's when they were all tactile. It's all real. It's all
Exactly.
malleable. You could see it on the screen, not the
None of that
CGI
fake
woke
CG.
nonsense. Yeah,
Woke
they got
CG.
stormtroopers of the Empire. So if you want to, army build, you can just get one of those, and you got that there.
We go
Snowtroopers.
army
Yeah,
building.
yeah. I mean, people love the army build, so this is a smart pack. You get one of each, and you can just get a bunch of them. So I think that works
I
out.
love
They
this.
got a new stormtrooper with some new
I wish
articulation.
they were doing
So
this kind of packs when I was army building a lot of these because man, it was a hassle to collect a bunch of these little suckers.
I mean, I thought they would do the stormtrooper. I remember they had like a 4 pack at one point, right? That you could get either online or in store.
Oh yeah,
What
but that
product?
wasn't that was
Well, that was
more recent.
3.75. Yeah, 3 3/4
Yeah, but I'm
inch.
just saying that was more recent. Like when I was I mean, I still collect, but I mean, when I was really doing this stuff, it was
You've been
further
collecting since
back.
like 1965. What are you talking about? You've been collecting
Yeah.
them for years.
No, the 4 packs, those don't come out till more recent. That
Oh, okay.
anyway, so and I'm talking about, at the point when we were collecting or else when I was collecting, I really wanted the most articulated, nicest version of like stormtroopers or whatever clone
Yeah.
trooper they came out with. So I was always looking for the better ones. And those they were really hard. They never really did those in 4 or multi packs that you would say.
Right. New edition here of Obi-Wan. You got the bottom part of his outfit that's cloth as well, with his coat, his cloak, I should say. Looking pretty good, pretty cool. And then you have these from the Cantina bar. All
Yeah,
these different characters, the Ponda Baba.
they're
You got
cool.
your.
My only
It's
gripe is that we've seen a lot of this stuff already. It's just kind of like repackaged, reissued. So I like to see some new stuff.
Snaggletooth.
I mean, it's
Yeah, I
nice
got
for
some
those
more.
that don't have it.
Hammerhead.
A lot of newer collectors, and I think this is what this stuff is for newer collectors that are looking to get a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and look, and they have the HasLab for the Cantina set. So then you have the Mos Eisley Cantina. So then you have this set, you have the Bantha. So you have a really cool dio that you can set up there. A whole
Yeah,
scene that
definitely.
you can recreate, which is really cool. Which I think is the thing people want. They want to recreate all these different movie scenes or TV scenes, but especially, I mean, the Mos Eisley Cantina is one of the most iconic scenes in all of Star
Yeah.
Wars. So
It's such a cool little like play, like if you were setting up a game and you wanted to play with your Star Wars, like if you were a kid and you were setting up a little Mos Eisley, I mean, it would be like the perfect play set for you to like have adventures in because it's really easy to kind of like come in and out, and you have like the space to drive your vehicles and monsters around it. It's really nice. Like I would have loved to have this as a kid.
yeah, 100%. Larry, what about you? Do you like this Isley Cantina? What would be your iconic Star Wars scene you would want recreated in 3 3/4?
I mean, it'd be cool to do the Death Star trench, do that with the vehicles and stuff.
That would be a big ass place.
That would
Yeah,
be. I mean, you're thinking big, baby.
talking about dreams. But
We're
no,
talking
no,
about
I'm not in.
dreams. Yeah, we are talking about dreams.
Like
But,
we were saying, the 3 3/4 they've done for so long, and that's why I went to the Black Series because at least it was a new scale and everything.
yeah,
So, because like Ed said, there's so many repeats, and every single thing they've made, they've already done before. It's just now it's do you want your second or third or fourth version with new articulation or new soft goods or whatever. So
yeah,
they're really cool, and if you don't have them, they're really good to get. But it's
yeah.
hard to collect both lines. I'd rather just take the 6 inches.
I
Yeah,
got you.
but
You sure would.
he loves all.
Um,
He wants
Black
all six
Series
inches of
one
those.
1/12 line.
Oh wow!
oh, okay. All right,
Hey,
come on,
Claire,
man.
But I
This
would
is a
say,
safe space, guys. So you
yeah,
can
man.
say what
I
you
mean,
want. You can express how you
whatever
feel.
scale you want, whatever size you're into, it's okay.
What?
We're we're not gonna shame you here, Maya, Michael.
I didn't say
Talking to
anything.
you.
What are you talking about?
No, I was gonna
Doesn't always come
say.
back to me.
I
Oh
was
my
just gonna
god.
say. I like the 6 inch line, and I really turned to that one to collect like individual characters. Because I think they do a really good job of like showing off the individual character, as in the 3 3/4 inch are so small, but the 3 3/4 inch is great for vehicles and army building. So I kind of leaning that way. I usually get most of like vehicles and troopers and all that. I'll do it in 3 3/4 inch. But when there's a
Mm.
character release in the 6 inch scale, Black Series, I'll pick up the character if it's a really interesting, fun one. So I found an enjoyable way to collect it that way.
Yeah, there's specific things I would want in 3 3/4. We'll get to that in a little bit. We have a special segment after all this hot toy news we got for you guys. So, yeah, let's continue with the aforementioned Black Series. Night Sister, Marin, has this been on your list at all? We also saw the Cal Kestis Turgle. We loves some Turgle
Turgle.
here
I
on
just
the
want that
show.
bigger.
Yeah, love that Turgle. Dash Rendar we've seen, and this is a better look at the Han Solo. We've seen a lot of Han Solos.
Hot
Is
solos.
this so hot? Is he hot enough for you? Is
Look at
this the
that
hot
hair
one to get?
Yeah, yeah. They went all out on that face sculpt. This one can be really called the hot solo.
and his hair.
Yeah, look at
The
that
hair,
feathery
that feather.
waft, head of hair he's got there.
Is this the one to get? Is this the ultimate Han Solo?
It looks good. I mean, if you don't have the previous ones, this is definitely a really nice one. I mean, it looks like they've done the best rendering of him in this version. Is it big enough to make me buy another one? Probably not, but they're really nice, and I mean, they are getting better. And if you just feel like, hey, you know what, I kind of want to update my characters. I think these look so much nicer. Hey, go for it. These are really, really well done. So
Is this enough for you, Larry, to go in on the second? I mean, I don't know how many Han Solos you guys have, but I imagine you got a few in your collection. Is this worth getting another original version, but just updated and a better sculpt.
At first, I dismissed it right off the bat because I already have them, but then I see those feathery locks, and then I
Yeah.
see how good they did with the detail on the new Chewbacca, and they updated like his articulation, and it's. I think the Chewbacca is the one. That's the ultimate Chewbacca. They haven't made one that that great like overall. Like I think that's
Yeah.
why I would do it more for the Chewbacca than the Solo, but I have to get the pair because they did update the hand enough for me. But the elbows on that Chewbacca are new. They put a lot of new stuff into that version. So
Yeah, they said everything about this. The torso is brand new. All basically newly sculpted Chewbacca,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'd love to see a side-by-side comparison from the previous Chewbacca to this one to really get the feel of the changes they've made for this one.
yeah, here's some 3D renders of them before they actually became fully fledged figures. I think Chewbacca looks great. I have the first version that they ever did, so it might be worth upgrading since I never got any of the other ones. Same thing for Han. I was sort of maybe going to go in on the figure arts reissues, which always looked good to me, but maybe it's worth just getting a $25 version, which kind of does the job. Same thing with Luke and Leia.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it'll really depend, your price point too, if you're looking to save a little, these are really nicely done. You
Yeah,
know, I couldn't knock you for, deciding to go with one of these.
you
The
might
other
try
ones
it.
are, Mayfex figure arts are on a little bit of a different level, but all in all,
Sure.
they do like you said, it does the job.
It's just, when you think of Mafex figure arts, you're already saying, higher plastic quality, way more articulation and range. But do I need Han Solo and Chewbacca to go in Spider-Man poses, right?
Right, exactly.
So, with that, it's like, okay, I think Black Series, you can get the whole set of the classic four for $100, as
Yeah,
opposed to a figure arts for one figure that will cost you, $70 or something. So,
correct.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's certain ones I will go for with the higher ones, the ones I really have an affinity for, but maybe with those, I might just stick
Yeah,
with
I
that.
think the ones that really kinda show off the higher grade, kinda like the, Mandalorian that's coming out with the chromed out Beskar,
Right.
and, like, that's one that you want, like, really nice posing, the finishing and the materials that they're gonna use, it looks like it's completely different. Another one I know, we're gonna talk about, is the, General Grievous figure arts that everyone is,
Hmm.
drooling over. Another one that I think for being a robotic kinda creature with high posability and just, attention to detail, that one is probably gonna be real stellar, coming off of one of the Japanese import lines, compared to, like whoa, careful there, Michael. Compared to this, American counterparts. But, all in all, I still think they're all pretty decent and enjoyable, whichever way you decide to go.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of what you feel is fitting for your collection, where you're, wanting to spend. Like, for example, just a quick look. This Mando, right? This is the Black Series. This is the one that brought the actual cloth cape, and the paint job on this one. It's the Beskar armor, and so it's a little shinier. But for a Black Series figure, this thing is pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, Hasbro's definitely doing a great job on these figures, and they've been, doing great with the improvements to, their articulation and like the styling and adding like the soft goods and mixing it with some of the other things, their paint applications, the type of plastic that they use. So, like I said, you're not going to be disappointed for the most part in some of these. And so, it's like you said, is it necessary to jump into a figure arts Mayfex? Not necessarily. I mean, like I said, I think it'll definitely show on certain figures,
Yeah.
but for more of these basic ones,
Like
um,
this one, like the Short Trooper and Death Trooper. They look cool. I think Black Series does a good job with making these versions.
right.
What about you, Laszlo? Where are you on this? Where do you go with the import domestic when it comes to Star Wars?
I think the imports you got, like you said, dynamic posing, Sith, Jedi. Those are the ones I would lean towards for the imports, and then the Mandalorians. When you got a bunch of armor and a bunch of different things that comes with the figures, the imports always get the accessories and extra stuff that Black Series doesn't really do.
Right.
And that makes it even everyone loves accessories when they're done really well. and I think the imports do that much better than what Black Series does, and that's also just the higher price point. That's why you get more stuff.
Exactly. Speaking of looking good, looking really good. The sand, it says Rooper here, but I believe that means Sand Trooper.
No, no, I think
Sand
it's an actual canon character, Michael.
Sand Rooper.
Yeah, Sand Rooper. He was actually quite
Oh.
popular.
Well, I guess it was in the deleted scene. I didn't catch that one.
Yeah.
Sand Rooper, looking really good here too. This is an often requested, revisioned character.
Yeah, we haven't
Uh,
seen him since like the very first release
yeah,
of the Black Series, and so it's about due time for an update. And I think they did a fantastic job with it.
I think it looks really good. Again, that sort of thing. If you're really into stormtroopers and you want the best version, maybe you go import. But this is really good too for a
Yeah,
$25 figure. I think it
especially if
doesn't
you're army building. If you want to have like 6 of these bad boys, it's going to cost you a pretty penny if you go import. But through Hasbro, you can generally pick these up at good prices and build out your little platoons without breaking the bank.
Clone Lieutenant
Gale.
Gale. He looked pretty awesome. People love the clone troopers,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm sure people are
I love
digging this
Gale.
one.
I mean, this is the thing. When I see these clone troopers and the clone commanders like this, it really makes me wish I could army build in 6 inch because they're so awesome. And man, it would just be so impressive to have like platoons of all these characters with their units behind them.
Yeah.
But man, you need some serious space for that. And with all the different lines and all the different characters and like a lot of different army building lines that we have, like GI Joe and all the multiple figures you get out of like Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. It's just like there's no room for anything.
No,
So
it's impossible.
you
It's
got to keep it
impossible.
small unless you have some
And
like really amazing like huge warehouse where you can just set up tables and just diorama the crap out
yeah.
of everything.
Or a toy store.
Or a toy store.
Yeah, I wonder who has that.
Hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, Larry, you said you did 3 3/4. Then you got rid of all those. You sold all those off, and then you went to Black Series.
No, I still have them. I probably should sell them so I can use that and turn them into more toys. But I still love
Smart.
them. But yeah, I love the troopers, the Black Series, all the clone commanders, lieutenants, all those troopers are awesome. So Gale's a for sure pickup for me.
Yeah, you can see those in the back of your, right there in your background. You got some of the 3 3/4 in package, and you also got the Razor Crest. So you're
Yeah,
still a fan of small stuff.
yeah. No, and like Ed said, the vehicles, that's where it's at because they can still make a Razor Crest, and then it's you can actually put it somewhere, and
Yeah,
it's still massive, just like the Ghost that just came out was massive. You
yeah.
can't do that in
Did,
six.
did any of you get the ghost?
I
No,
wanted to, but I didn't.
Hmm.
no.
Yeah, I thought about it real hard, and it came down to space. I think if I had room, I might have gotten it, but when I just looked around and said I couldn't do anything with this, and I would just hate to spend the money and then just have it stored away somewhere and never see it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's why I passed
exactly.
on it.
I asked my wife, and she said,
That seems
and
quite
then she
like
struck struck me
the
down.
repetitive conversation you guys have, Michael.
A little bit, but we mix some, we have some fun with it as well. So,
All right, well,
um, don't want to reveal our secrets. A Sith never reveals his secrets. Um, yeah. So again, these are up for pre-order today. So if you want to go army build, you can go
grab
get
them.
those and go grab them and tag them. Walmart stuff. These are reissued Kit Fisto, R2D2, which I need to get. I never got the first version, so I'm glad they did a re-release. Count Dooku, still a great figure. You have some more troopers as well. Commander Cody, Ayla Sakura. This is a big one. This is one that people definitely wanted again. So I don't
Yeah,
know if she's ever had a 6-inch version. Has she?
yeah,
Yeah,
she's happy.
this is a
Oh yeah,
reissue.
you can tell the
Yeah, it's a
reissue. Yeah, the
reissue, but she does come with the swooshy lightsaber blade this time. The
yeah.
original one did not have that. But people love the Jedi, and every time they reissue the Jedi's, I think people are happy because there's always new collectors, and some of these are getting harder and harder to find. So like Isla Sakura, Mace Windu, Kit Fisto, what was the other ones? Ceci, no, not Ceci Tin. Which Plo Koon?
Sexy tin.
Have they done a Ceci Tin?
Sexy
Is
Tin.
that one we're missing?
Kit
Yeah.
Fisto.
We'll talk more about that one later. Kid Fisto is awesome. They did a Kid Fisto.
Yeah,
They
that's part of the reissues.
yeah.
No,
But yeah, you know, was it Luminari Dundee? I forget her name.
Luminara Dundi.
Undali.
Crocodile Dundee, if that's her name. Like,
Paris
oh,
That's
Hilton.
it. You got it.
nailed it. Nailed
Unduli.
it.
But
Yeah.
that Ayla Sakura, the original one you can get right now for cheaper than retail. So if you don't care about the swishy sword or in the new packaging, you can get it right now for cheaper.
I
I
will
don't
say
really.
about the packaging on these reissues that they've been doing, it's kind of fun. I mean, like, I love the idea of seeing the old, like, Revenge of the Sith packaging, but for
Yeah.
6-inch figures. It's
It's
just so much fun, and they've done this before. We've seen it with, like, Clone Wars. We've seen it with, some the original, what do you call them? The,
The animated
Phantom
ones.
Menace ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
done
yeah,
that.
yeah. Phantom
It's just
Menace.
it's so cool to see them enlarged to 6-inch, and they just oh, man, the nostalgia just hits real hard when you see those packaging.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I really like
Retro.
that they do that.
Yeah, Hasbro. The one thing they do great is the retro packaging. Whether it's X-Men, whether it's GI Joe, and especially Star Wars, it's such a brilliant move for those reissues because you'll want them because they remind you of the old three and
You'll
three
wanna
quarter.
want them.
I want them. I want more. I
Magna
want more.
This is a great for figure for 6-inch. I mean, you can get so much detail on the way they did the cloak on him, a little robot underneath, the little, laser baton, just fun figure.
Yeah, super fun figure. It looks really cool. Magna Guard, Magna. You can't go wrong with that. So, some good stuff here from Star Wars Black Series. Nothing too crazy yet. I think when summer rolls around with Comic Con, you'll get some more reveals. I mean, look at these. Look at the ladies of the Jedi. They look great together. Ayla, Shakti, and you got my girl Udi Badudi.
Lumi Dundi.
Yeah, she looks great. Lightsaber Wars. You can get a lightsaber and get
Lightsaber,
the
oh.
Ezra Bridger lightsaber. Any interest in that one?
It's pretty nice. I mean, the quality of these have definitely gone up. I remember when they originally hit, I was really excited. I just thought they were so cool. I got a couple of them. I got like Mace Windu, I got Darth Vader. And they're fun, but comparing the old ones to the newer ones that have come out, I mean, they have really improved their game. So
Yeah.
honestly, I think what Hasbro wanted to do here is compete with a lot of these lightsaber companies that are making like Saber Forge and NeoPixels and all these like lightsaber companies.
hmm
They want a piece of that, and so their production of these is really good quality. I love the machining, the detail, the amount of stuff they're doing. I mean, I don't think like especially with the electronics is where I think they don't shine as well.
hmm
They lack a little bit in the electronics they use. You can definitely get better stuff with some of these other lightsaber companies, more capabilities, more customization, better RGB light. I think they're just better quality overall if you want to actually use these things for like goofing around with your friends or taking a
Right.
lightsaber fencing class or whatever.
Love the
But
goof.
they're still really good, and their price point is, I think, what really does it. I think it's not terrible, and a lot of times you can find these on deals, so you can have a lot of fun with some of these. They do a really nice job with them.
Yeah, good stuff. Do you collect any lightsabers, Larry?
The original when they all came out, I got Obi-Wan's, Vader's, Return of
Mhm.
the Jedi, Luke's. I have like 4 or 5 of them. But I haven't gotten them in a while because they're expensive.
Yeah.
But what I like about the Ezra Bridger one is they specifically made it where you can take the blade off and you can display it because that's always a problem. The old ones you couldn't take off the blade to
Nope.
display. You had to put a huge like sword hold, like a literal sword holder. And this one is they're leaning into you can just display the handle, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
Like they even put the little emitter piece on there so you can screw it on, so it looks really nice.
Exactly. Yeah. So they kind of thought next, step ahead, and like you were saying, and sort of competing with those real premium collector pieces, and you have sort of the best of both worlds now. My favorite memory of lightsabers was when I worked at Toys R Us. I think it was my second to last day, and there was a section in Toys R Us. I think it was like R something R
The R
RBD.
Zone.
Well, not the R zone, well, the R zone as well, but in the back section, anything that was open that would have to be returned to the vendor. And so that would be in the back room in like a cart or something. And there was this lightsaber that I was oogling for 2 months that was on display. And it was in the back. I was like, oh, what's this thing? I just got it and went woo, woo, woo inside the truck where I was sweating my balls off. And I decided to give myself a severance package. And I just waltzed out of that Toys R Us with a lightsaber like it was no problem.
You're like, what are they gonna do? Fire me?
So long, losers. And so I just walked out.
I
Yeah.
remember. I remember you telling me that story. That was classic, Michael. What a klepto!
Classic and classy. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It was,
You fell to the dark side, Michael.
I did. I just walked out.
Who do you think you are? I am.
Yeah. So that's my favorite lightsaber memory.
Man, Michael.
Well, I got the red light behind me. It's like
That's
Yeah,
true.
it was your inner soul is
my inner soul was
Well,
burning red with fury and anger and revenge. And so,
I remember me and Ed choreographing a whole lightsaber battle.
really,
yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, we were so like impressed with like the Phantom Menace and especially the double bladed lightsaber, like most people were with Darth Maul, that
yeah,
we went out and it was like one of those pop-up stores in the malls, I think, or was something like that, right, Larry? Where they
Yeah,
had like, the bow staff, it was like made out of like bamboo or whatever, and they had like actual like practice katana. And so we bought those and we went home and we're like, we're gonna make an awesome lightsaber duel, and then we're just gonna whip it out somewhere. And so I remember we're just kind of goofing around and like we came up with this really good routine, and then a buddy of ours came over and we are just all kind of hanging out like, let's play, pretend sword fighting. And we were just like sword fighting, and then suddenly we're like, go, and we just started doing this insane routine. And you should have seen him. He was just standing there with like his jaw on the floor, like, what the hell am I watching? It was really fun. It was amusing and hysterical. Good times. Good
oh
times.
man, I mean, we would do Star Wars theater.
Yeah,
Like,
that's right. You and I remember we would memorize all the lines and we
yep,
would just out of nowhere, wherever we were, we would just bust out the monologues and just go into it. We had so many that were like in our pocket ready to go.
yeah. My favorite was when we would do the actual lightsaber duels,
Yeah.
and I think the best one was when we did Count Dooku and Anakin from Attack of the Clones because they literally, this is for audio and video, but for the video people watching, their duels were just this.
Yeah,
Moving
there
the
was no
light in
actual
front of their
light.
faces for like 30, yeah, for like 30 seconds, like cutting between them. And then Anakin would just stand there and Count
You
Dooku
just
slice his arm off.
so we would literally do that. We would just move lights in front of our faces
Yeah,
as we
exactly.
went into the fight.
And Anakin just stands there and goes, ah! They get
Yeah,
wonged and just get wonged
that was good.
out of the frame.
We gotta brush up some of those monologues, Michael. We should
Oh
redo
man,
that at a
we went hard
convention one
into
day.
those. I mean, we did the whole, like that poignant speech from Anakin when he's saying,
Killed them.
all the kill them.
Yeah, oh yeah, the Revenge of the
Killed them
Sith
all.
one, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
That
that
was a
was
really
oh
good
no,
one.
this was Attack of the Clones.
Every
No,
single
yeah.
one of
Oh,
them.
that one was one too, but we also would do the other one. We would do
And
the
not
whole
just the
Revenge of the
men,
Sith Obi-Wan monologue.
Oh yeah, but this
but
is
the
Yeah, I
women
remember the one you're talking about. Yeah, the whole when
and
he
the
wipes
children
out
too.
the
They're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them.
I remember I was Anakin and you always played Padme. That was fun.
I think that's why you always call me a woman because I would play the woman roles in our theater.
I call it like I see it, Michael.
All I can see it, and you saw a beautiful woman. Speaking of beautiful hot toys, I mean, listen, dude, I want to go all in on these, but one in particular, we've been waiting, we've been asking for this, and now it's finally here. We have ourselves a Pope Pomeranian
Hope Pomeron has made
hot
it
toys.
hot. I mean, this was funny because I remember when the movies, the original Force Awakens
Come
came
on.
out, hot toys were a big deal, and you know we were told that his face was scanned in, that he was definitely getting one, and it was going to be amazing. And then slowly
Whoa.
they started putting out all the figures. We got Kylo, we got Finn, we got BB-8, we got Phasma, we got like all the B-list characters, we got all the C-list characters. and we never got Poe Dameron, which was crazy. What
Yeah,
is it? 10 years later.
I don't know why it took so long, but hey, man,
I think it was
better late
they
than
did the
never.
nose right. It took a lot of
Can you put on the helmet so I can do a quick comparison on the video right now? I think this would be the best way to. Yeah, there we go.
Mm.
I mean, it looks identical. You take off the beard,
Who
and
wears it better?
where is it better?
Who
I can't.
wore it best?
You're Poe Dameron's cousin.
I am. He's Poe Dameron, and I'm Pope Dameron.
You're great value, Poe Dameron.
Great value. You're the Timu Poe Dameron.
Timu Dameron.
Timu Dameron. Great value. Oh man, the hits just keep on coming. They don't stop coming. So yeah, he looks awesome. Really excited to get that. And you got your BB-8 that comes with them.
That's so nice that they threw that in there. I mean, I always thought it was funny how they try to pawn off BB-8 as more of a Ray, companion. But
Nah,
I
son,
mean, it
nah.
was all Poe's,
Yeah, that's Poe's.
droid.
That's Poe's boy. That's
Poe's droid. Yeah, that's Poe's droid. Poe. Wow, say that
say
fast.
it. Say it.
Poe's droid. Yeah.
Nailed it.
So I'm happy that they're
That is
including that.
correct.
And yeah, super exciting. A lot of goodies with this one. He looks fantastic. I think they did a great job with the sculpt. The face looks great. I think they cracked the code with the Moon Knight, and now we're finally getting a really nice Poe Dameron. So super exciting.
I think so. I'm looking to see if they have. Okay, here we go. So here's all the accessories. So you get the rolling eyeballs. You get the helmet, which
That's
looks
a new
great.
magnetic technology.
Oh, I love those magnets.
Yeah.
You got some bare hand. You got the gloved hand. He has the hand where he's holding the gloves. You got his little pea shooter. What's the way you're gonna display your Poe Dameron?
Oh, like I want him like nude in the cockpit of the.
Okay, relax. All right. You can't talk like that. That's disrespectful.
Fine. All right, just shirtless at least. Shirtless with the vest on.
That's fine. With the vest on. That should be the way to do it. Just this vest. And BB-8's going, wow. I think I go without the helmet and him hold like that, maybe holding the helmet to his side. I think this is the one right here.
He looks good. I don't know. I like the way he looks with his helmet on. I don't know. It just makes him feel like more of a character. And especially look, he looks so great like that.
Yeah, he does.
I'm gonna do it helmet on.
What about you, Laszlo? How are you gonna display him with your Jar Jar Binks?
Helmet on, pants off.
With Jar Jar pants off?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Misa like that one. Again, more Hot Toy stuff. I would kill to have the whole set of these commanders.
I can't tell you how much I've been pondering that same query, Michael. I am like beating myself up, deciding whether I'm going to get them or not. The fact that they have light up visors, it's the whole team. And I don't know. I used to love Republic Commando. The look of these guys were so cool. I was so happy when they brought them into the Rebels cartoon. Was it Rebels or Clone Wars? I think it was both, wasn't it?
I thought it was both.
Well, Clone Wars, I think, is where they made their first debut. Anyway, super cool figures, and I don't know. I might have to put the figure on that one.
I know they've done Black Series version of these, but I just putting this out there into the universe. Just give me a 4-pack. Give me a 4-pack reissue of those figures because you can't get them all now. It just makes the most sense to do a 4-pack. Make it a comic.
I mean, they did put them all out. I remember seeing them a lot of times at like GameStops and stuff like that. And
yeah,
I was a big fan. I hunted them down. I got all of them, and that's why I have them in 3/4 inch. I have them in 6-inch, and now I'm afraid I'm gonna need them in 1/6 scale.
And these look so good, man.
They look so good. I mean, these are like, if you want the best rendition of these bad boys, this is it right here.
Yeah, I would say outside of maybe Knights of the Old Republic, the Republic Commando was my favorite Star Wars game.
Yeah.
And I love that game. I love how it's designed. I love the character designs of the commanders. What about you, Laszlo? Are you into the Hot Toy stuff? Would you get this?
Yeah, I think that it's a nice. It's not a huge amount you have to get. You can get all of them, and it's not going to kill you if you're going to get some hot toys. And they'll look. You can't just get one. You have to get all of them. Either
You
you're
gotta get.
getting all of them or none of them.
Yep,
So
exactly. I
I
feel.
don't think I'm going to be able to resist the pull of the dark side to get those.
Speaking of dark side, this elite squad trooper looks insane. It looks so badass. Just that metal of its armor looks so good on the hot toys like that.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't I don't even get squad troopers or clone troopers like that, but this thing looks badass.
Oh yeah. It's like a display piece. I mean, you just see that trooper like that standing on something like on a shelf somewhere in a room, you're gonna be impressed. You're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, what is that? That thing looks amazing."
It
You know,
looks yeah.
he's a really nicely done figure. And like I said, Hot Toys, the scale and just the great way they are able to do the armor and the paint deco and just the quality of it, that's a figure that's going to impress.
How's the Black Series versions of this? 'Cause I know they've done a Black Series version. Obviously, you
It's pretty
can't
cool.
compare.
I have one here. I like it, but it is a little simplistic, I would say. There isn't a
Mhm.
lot to it. It has the green visor. They just went with like a straight, gray plastic. So it's not bad if you like the characters, the troopers in the show. But I don't know, this one, the way that the light hits the sheen of the way they did the metallic armor, I
Yeah.
think definitely an improvement over the Black Series version.
No, yeah, it's just so visually stunning. Just seeing how that armor texture comes out.
Yeah,
It looks really cool. These are some really great releases. Rebels, Darth Vader,
that's a fun
looks
one. I mean, very stylized.
super stylized, but it fits the cartoon and people love that look. It's sort of the mix of the amalgamation of live action and the concept art Darth
It,
Vader.
it's nice. I just think it's the face is so stretched out that he kind of looks like he should be on an episode of Scooby Doo.
Yeah. Yeah, but that fits the style of Rebels though. They're a little
Yeah.
cartoony and elasticy looking, you know.
Yeah, don't get
But
me wrong, I like it. It's really cool looking, very cartoony, but with the red eyes is what really makes it stand out. Big menacing red eyes, you
yeah,
know, stylized, really nice, really nice.
but no, that's not one you would go for. The Rebels, Darth
Um,
Vader.
n- I wouldn't like if someone gave it to me, I wouldn't be disappointed, but do I want to go out and buy it right now? Probably not.
That's fair. That's fair. But this is so entry grade. So I don't know if this is sort of a cheaper version than standard Hot Toys, but I'll be curious when it comes out. Jar Jar Banks, man, this is the first I think version of Hot Toy you've ever gotten a Jar Jar.
I believe so. I don't recall seeing another one of these.
Jar Jar has sort of exploded in popularity. It's sort of the things where people hate this piece of crap for for so many years, and then we're like, you know what, we were too harsh on Jar Jar. Let's bring him back into the fold.
That's one of the great things I've noticed right now about Star Wars that I think is really cool is that people, I mean, and it's kind of
That's
like
good.
a double-edged sword. It's like good and it's bad. People are so passionate that when this stuff came out, people just like were so passionate that they hated how lame this character was. He was so silly. He was so dumb. He made so many mistakes. But when you grow up and you just remember still how much fun you had with it and how much you liked it maybe when you were a kid, but as you got older, you started disliking things. But at the end of the day, it just seems like everybody comes around to look back fondly on Star Wars, good or
Yeah,
bad. People just always decide, you know what, there's no point in being harsh anymore. Let's just enjoy what it was. And you see this a lot. You see this with Jar Jar Binks. You've seen this with Hayden Christensen recently doing his interviews and getting so much love, which I think is great. But
yeah.
sometimes I think Star Wars fans can be a little negative and a little mean. And, you could see this a lot
Yeah.
with like,
They're the word would be passionate, right? They're so
right.
passionate about Star Wars and what it means to them, and everyone has their own version of Star Wars, that appeals to them. And so Jar Jar just felt so antithetical to what they imagine, that character should be. They think of like a Chewbacca character, right? So they automatically attach that persona to Jar Jar, and they're like, "What is going on?"
Why is it
And
so ridiculous?
That's
yeah,
what I think. One of the biggest issues is the age that you see it. Like the Ewoks, when I saw Return of the Jedi, I love them. The
right.
adults, a lot of adults that saw that when it came out, that were already 30 plus years old, they hated the Ewoks and they thought, what
Mhm.
the heck is going on with my Star Wars?
Yeah.
After Empire Strikes Back, now you have these Ewoks throwing rocks.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah.
kids that grew up with Phantom Menace as their first Star Wars, Jar Jar was not that big a deal to them because it's a funny, goofy character.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
a lot of the passionate Star Wars fans forget that originally Star Wars it was a family movie. It was for kids, for
Yeah.
everyone to enjoy, and it's for
Yeah.
a broad audience. And
Yeah.
that where you lose your scale and or your time of how you feel about things when you grow older. You always go to your nostalgia of what you saw first. And a lot of the prequel kids are now they're the 30-40 year olds wanting to collect, and they have their money, their disposable income to spend, and they love the prequels. That's why I think Hayden Christensen, Jar Jar, Little Annie, he's getting more
Honey.
love. It's all comes
What
around
about
because those
me?
are kids.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes full circle. And you think about it, like, yeah, it's a family film, all from the original trilogy to prequel, but then you hear George Lucas talk about it. It's like inspired by the Vietnam War.
Yeah,
There's like tariff trades happening inside the
Nazis.
prequel movies. It's like trade federations and stuff. It's like all this
Yeah.
political quagmire that are happening inside Star Wars, and then there's this goofy character that's just taking his tongue out and falling all over the place, super slapstick. It's
Yeah.
just I always appreciate the concepts of George Lucas, even though I wasn't crazy about his writing and his everything else when they came to Star Wars.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in there that when you watch and with a logical adult mind, you realize that doesn't really make sense or that's a little out of place for this. Like the Ewoks, I've always loved the Ewoks, but I always did think, it's kind of silly that these like high-tech Imperial troopers with, all this equipment and armor are taken out with a bunch of rocks and sticks. So, just
Yeah,
like there's a point where you're just like, yeah, that was just, bad.
you have
At
to
the end of the
detach.
day, was it fun to see a bunch of little tiny, Care Bears attack? What is it called? Mangy Care Bears attack
Peachy.
stormtroopers and win? Yeah, it's fun. So why put so much thought into it? Why kind of sour it for yourself and just enjoy it for what it was?
Dumb fun. It's dumb fun, and that's exactly what it should be. And I do appreciate that they try other stuff. We were talking about Andor, and then trying to go with a little bit more adult themed, adult oriented type, show. And I think it works really well. I like the idea that you can have Star Wars that is more for kids, something that's more in the middle,
Yeah,
that
kind
you
of
can
like
watch with your whole family, and then something that's a little bit more highbrow or a little bit more elevated.
I think that's a great thing about the shows too, is that they can create shows for different audiences, like Skeleton Crew. That was a very much kid friendly, family show, easily,
Yeah.
accessible to watch. And then
Mhm.
you have stuff like Andor, that's definitely much more of a slow burn, more, kind of like Game of Thrones-ish kind of tone to it, with like all the, back and forth and the turncoats and this and that. And so it's fun. It's fun that Star Wars has such a big sandbox where you can create such different type of storytelling, but it still all works because it's created in this really fun, exciting universe.
Absolutely. I mean, if you want to partake in the fun, say like you want something like this, Poe Dameron, I think there's a store you can go to. Maybe you can pre-order it.
There is. So, now we're excited to offer Poe Dameron at Hidden Temple Toys. You can pre-order it from us in store or go to hiddentempletoys.com and place your pre-order for this amazing figure. And who knows, maybe it'll come signed or something.
Feel the burn.
The place to buy toys.
Absolutely. Speaking of toys, um, we have some things we want to get into. We were deciding how to fully celebrate Star Wars. We talked about maybe doing movie rankings or TV shows, but since we are a figure oriented show, we decided, hey man, screw that. Let's go and make our top 10 most wanted Star Wars Black Series figures.
Yeah. We're about the toys. That's what we want to talk about.
About the toys and hanging with the boys.
Yeah, come for the boys, stay for the toys.
What? No,
No? Is that
no.
not how it goes?
No, I think that's what you printed on our stickers, and I was meaning to tell you that you need to reprint those. So
What? I thought that was our slogan we all agreed on.
I didn't agree on that slogan. I think you have some dyslexia, so
Oh,
you might need to go and edit
all
that
right, all
real
right.
quick.
I'll talk to the printers.
All right, talk to the printer man. I think we should go into it. We can go with our honorable mentions. I think we were kind of going back and forth on the top 10. We came to a consensus, and we had to leave some off the list. Sorry, Laszlo. I know there were some that you really liked, but yeah, you can't.
They were pretty stinky choices.
They were not.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting it. I didn't say it, but he's saying that. So that's between you guys. Sorry, man.
All right, hit us, Michael.
Okay, so in our honorable mentions, we have over here. We kind of pulled through movies, we pulled through the cartoons, we pulled through everything, but this is one that I thought was interesting. These are the oh, there it is over here. This is the Mortis gods. Ed, you were really in favor of these, but we decided to leave it off our list.
Yeah, I thought it was they're really cool characters, very mythological for Star Wars, if you can say. You know, there's these really interesting characters live on this planet, have a real big connection. A lot of people say the origin of the Force comes from these people. Really interesting backstory. How cool would it be to get a Black Series 3-pack of these characters? I mean, really, really cool. If you've seen the Clone Wars, you've seen the shows, you've seen a lot of mention of the Mortis gods. You've seen the episodes where they fight Anakin, and there's a lot of really cool stuff to do with this stuff, and their lore kind of stretches throughout a lot of the animated shows, and I think even Ahsoka right now.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, how have we not seen any figures of these? Not even in 3/4 inch or 6 inch.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know shit about this one, but you were saying that these are awesome, so I believe you. But I was like, oh yeah, they look cool, and yeah, maybe if I followed the show, I'd be more inclined to be like, yeah, we need those. But I just feel like there's so many other ones that need to be done first before these. But these were definitely a good choice.
They were cool. They're cool.
Yeah. Moving on, honorable mentions. I was thinking the McQuarrie concept Stormtrooper. I love the design. I love the McQuarrie concept. We've seen already a few of these in Black Series with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. I just really love the design. I remember having the the 3 3/4 figure and just being like, this is such a cool toy.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can do a 6 inch version now, I think would be super fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, anything McQuarrie designed just has a very, nostalgic Star Wars feel to it. Just very like kind of 70s inspired artwork. I love the way they look. I love the whole series they did in the 3/4 inch with his designs. I have all of them just because I'm just smitten by how cool his designs were, and to see them in 3/4 inch was awesome. So yeah, any of these that come to 6 inch, I would be very excited to pick up.
What
Yeah,
about you? Yeah,
I would
we're
love,
gonna ask you.
no, I was saying I love to see Macquarie everything, even like stuff he never did the concept art for. I'd love to see the Macquarie treatment for stuff would be cool. And the
Yeah,
whole line of just anything, any of the newer stuff, any just do it Macquarie style, I think would be good.
McQuarrie Jar Jar, give it to me. Just like go crazy with it. I would give me McQuarrie Salacious Crumb. Give me whatever you want. I'm so into it. Yeah, I love the idea of just kind of like letting people sort of imagine what that could be. We kind of saw that with NECA with the Ninja Turtle movie Bebop and Rocksteady. So
Yeah.
them just sort of creating their own versions of what those would be. So I think that'd be cool. But I think a good start off point is let's get Stormtrooper. Let's get some other characters that we might mention later on this segment. But another honorable mention, Koru. You were talking about the Sith Witch from
Yeah.
Visions. She looks pretty badass.
She is just such a cool character, such a great design. I know in the last episode we showed off the Ronin Black Series figure with his droid, and how awesome would it be to complement him with her and her amazing lightsaber umbrella. I mean, she's just such a great character. This is her uncloaked look, which I think is
Mm,
really, really cool. I would love to see a figure of this one. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm waiting for it.
Another one you will have to see a figure of, and you were like, "Yeah, this is just me being raunchy." Was the Force Unleashed Shakti, and I was like, "Hey, you know what? Not a bad choice."
I don't know. I just think this Shakti's always been one of my favorite Jedi. I always wish there was more with her, and I was kind of happy they kind of made Ahsoka. Oh, and I can't remember the name of the species. What is it, Larry? You're great with species.
I just forgot right now.
I think he was staring at Shakti, and he just sort of had a.
I,
Both
I
of you
got
guys
lost.
started
I got lost in her thighs. I mean,
staring
eyes.
so hard at
Anyway,
her. Like,
I
like
was a big fan of the
blood
Force
on
Unleashed
her shoulder.
video game.
Okay,
I love playing that game, and
like
when you
she's still
stumble
wet.
upon, and what was really cool about this version was because in the original movie they were going to kill her off, but they deleted that scene, and you can still find the deleted scene where Grievous kills her, but they used her instead and finished her off in the Force Unleashed, and so they gave her a little bit of extra story, and so she's living on this jungle planet. She has taken on a new Padawan, and all sorts of stuff happens, and she wears this really cool kind of like native kind of look, and I just always thought she looked so badass. And they did this figure in 3 3/4 inch already, so I don't
Mhm.
see any reason why we couldn't see this in a 6 inch figure.
Yeah, no, she looks super badass, and when you showed it to me, it really piqued my interest for a figure. For
Yeah,
a figure. So
because you're a big gooner.
I feel like you've been edging on this one more than so,
Strictly the design.
they call you the Goon Squad.
Ugh.
So, my favorite, and this was our last honorable mention. I fought for him, but he didn't make the list. Was Sleaze Bagano. Give me a Sleaze Bagano, man. Come on, bunch of
With
death
that
sticks.
Hey,
I mean,
honestly, I don't have anything against the 6 inch Sleaze Bago. I think he's a fun character. I would get him. I would buy him ironically
the
because it's just too
greatest
fun.
name of Star Wars characters of all time, Elon Sleaze
Honestly,
Bagano.
wow.
So
so unique.
I love
Figure.
it.
Love
And
to
I
see
mean,
this guy make a comeback.
I don't know what happened to him. Do you think
Went home and he
we
thought
should
his
get a
life.
TV
He
show?
probably became a great, like entrepreneur.
Yeah,
He
I feel
became,
like he
became
did.
a father, a family man. Probably
Family
settled down.
man. Yeah, yeah. He donated to
Probably
charities.
like the mayor of his little town, and he's like, yeah, like you said, starting up charities, helping the homeless, just really
Yeah.
turned
Death
himself
sticks.
around. So
Like
I
the
want to
like
see that story.
yeah, like created power converters for other galaxies and
Yeah,
planets,
for
So
unfortunate, wells for planets that have,
yeah,
different.
I want the sleazebag story. I want to know everything. It's like a Breaking Bad,
Yeah.
but with sleazebag.
Forget Andor season 2. We want Sleaze Bago season
Breaking
1.
sleazebag.
Starring Aaron Paul as Sleazebago.
I love it. Okay, let's get to the real top 10.
Yeah, hit us with the real meats, Michael.
Okay, number 10. Number 10 is a character that was a very random choice that became a most sought out figure. It won a contest and it was released in 3 3/4. Of course, we are talking about Effondrement.
Effondrement. Oh man, when this figure came out, and I think it was what was it called, the Saga Collection or the one right after Attack of the Clones. It won the fan choice. It was so cool to see such a big beefy figure. I know they had to make like an extra large clamshell to stick this thing in on the card, and he was a beast. He was so much fun. He was really hard to find when he originally released, and no one
So,
could find him. And I remember going into a KB Toys in a mall one day, and they had like 10 of these bad boys.
you freaked out.
Bought
You
like
freak out?
a whole mess of them. I bought a couple for me. I got some for our uncle. I don't know if I got you one. It was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this one. This was like it's just such a random character. Again, it's like those
Yeah,
esoteric choices that Star Wars fans love and they need figures of. And F.on. Mon was just like I have no memory of him in the movies. So
yeah. He's standing there in Jabba's palace, isn't it? Or yeah, Jabba's palace.
yeah, he's just there in the background, just hanging around, loafing around. So
Yeah, but I mean, imagine what it took to sculpt that thing. Just to have it stand there in the background for like half a second.
yeah, that guy must be. I mean, he must have died in that suit. It's just so
Well,
massive.
But
he
what a
never
cool
left the suit.
character.
Yeah, super cool character. Yeah, I remember getting that one. I was like so excited to get it, and then I think a few months after, you could find them everywhere. The whole
I
rarity of
was
it kind of
I
went
I
away.
would be really excited to get that feeling again. Kinda I was talking about the reuse of the packaging in the 6 inch line. I would just get the feeling of overwhelming nostalgia like to find this guy on card, but like super huge, bubbly, massive card with a 6-inch F-Mon in there.
Oh, that's what you have to do that,
I would be so happy.
And that card, I remember seeing that card and be like, "Oh my god, it's F-Mon, it's so cool." It was yeah, I remember all that stuff. This one over here.
That's it. That's the card.
That's the one, Return of the Jedi F-Mon. He was head of security of man, he did a shitty job
He
because
did a real bad.
I mean,
everybody got in there.
he must have got fired on the spot. I mean, F-Mon, dude. I mean,
Probably why we didn't see him after the movie. He got fired.
Oh, he got fired instantly.
He got his ass sent home. It's like no pay.
He sent his ass home. They just kicked him out. Bib Fortuna got his ass out in no time. He's like, "Oh man, I messed up. Oh, the wife's gonna roast my ass." Terrible job, F-Mon, but an awesome figure. So that would be cool to get. So that's number 10 on our list.
Let me tell you. It's getting late.
Oh, don't get tired of me now. We're only starting.
We're losing it.
We'll share through these quick. Number 9, we'll stick with Jabba's Palace: Return of the Jedi. We have Ula.
Yes.
Ula definitely most sought out figure. Larry, what are your deepest memories?
Ooh la la! I would like an Ula. Yeah, that for sure. She would be a really good Black Series figure.
Yeah, we almost got her when they did the Rancor HasLab or whatever, and they threw her in kind of as like a bonus figure because everybody was really, really upset. Am I making that up or am I right on that? Or
sounds right to me.
Everybody wanted that figure. I can't remember.
That was one of the reasons it failed because they didn't throw her in there.
Was that what it was? I know this was one that everybody like either wanted or kept complaining that she wasn't included in the Rancor thing. And I mean, it would have been the perfect place to put her. I can't believe they didn't do that right off the bat. But hopefully there's still a chance to get an Ula down the road. Maybe even revisit the Rancor. I mean, it was a shame that wasn't made, but I think Hasbro needs to rework their strategy on that, what we're getting for it, price point. We'll see what happens.
Going on to number 8, we're talking about McQuarrie concept, and I think you got to do a McQuarrie Luke Skywalker. Such an awesome design. They did the 3 3/4 version. I love that figure. I would absolutely kill for a concept Luke Skywalker, and not just
kill, Michael.
What?
Who would you kill?
Oh no!
I would kill the evilness that's out there. I would kill
words for a toy.
Exactly. Kill the shelf. But I would not just include Luke. I would also throw in Star Killer. So give me a 2-pack with Luke Skywalker and Hero Star Killer, which was the original female version of Skywalker. I think that would be
like a Leia, right? Isn't that where like the whole twins came from?
I think so. Maybe, yeah. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it makes all the sense. You already have a 2-pack of Vader and Obi-Wan concept. Just give me Star Killer and Skywalker.
I'm with you on that, Michael. Make it happen.
What about you, Laszlo? You like the idea, or you think it's a bunch of dung?
Let's do it. You kill, I'll hide the body. I got you.
Love it. Speaking of killing, number 7, Darth Plagueis. Oh, creepy dude. I think this is one that people would love to have.
This is a character that has so much hype already, that's been mentioned so many times. He's been in the books. He's been, they've already made a 3 3/4 inch based off of a lot of the expanded universe stuff. We finally got a glimpse of him at the end of the Acolyte, and people were very excited, even though the Acolyte kind of bombed. But just the mention of a possible live action Darth Plagueis was really, really cool, enough to keep the people, desire for this character alive. Yeah. So, we need to get this guy. I mean, let's make it a reality, people.
Are we going with this version? Do you like the version that they showed in the show?
I mean, the version in the show is just not wearing his mask. So, like, if you see a lot of the art and a lot of the, like, even on the smaller one, he's supposed to have a really cool kind of like respirator mask.
Right.
And so, just make it removable. Yeah. This is kind of a silly looking one, but there's other concept art that has them in the really cool looking respirator masks.
Not that silly.
Oh, it's pretty silly.
Yeah, it looks like a potato head. Uh,
I mean, I think he's a potato head. I mean, like what's there to say? He's just like a rotten potato head. So
Yeah, but, I think
like
they did a really
like a
good
Mr.
job.
Planner's head or something, you know? So
But the way they presented him in the Acolyte, he looks really creepy in that one. I could definitely see that turning into a really cool
yeah,
character. So
for
yeah,
sure.
let's see more of him. Let's get him out in the light,
Yeah,
exposed.
out in the light. I want out in the light? Our number 6 figure. This is Mandalore the Great, Mandalore the Ultimate.
Yes.
Uh,
The original Mandalore that settled the planet, created the whole Mandalorian race. Give it to me, Michael.
trying to give it to you. I would want that. You got to do a cloth cape. You know, you got to do the cloth red cape.
Oh yeah. If he doesn't come with a cape, I don't want it.
Number 5 on our list. This is one that we've seen 3 3/4 tons of times, or I mean, not tons of times, but we've seen it a handful of times. Haven't seen his 6-inch yet. Not sure why. Quinlan Voss, number 5 on our list.
Yeah, great character. Like again, he's been in the movies. We've seen him 3 3/4 inch. We've seen him in the comics. We've seen him in so many. He's been in the Clone Wars. Why haven't we not gotten a 6-inch figure of him yet? I blame Larry.
That's my
Larry, what do you say about that?
Really?
like Quinlan Voss. He even has an awesome storyline with Asajj Ventress. So do a new awesome Asajj Ventress after she left Dooku and everything, and they can do a whole new outfit for her with Quinlan Voss, and a two pack is the theme. I
Yeah,
think that'd be really cool. And he's a really cool character.
super cool character. Very much needed in the Black Series line. Not sure why he hasn't been there yet, but hopefully that changes soon. Number 4, we were trying to figure out which version. I'm going to throw both of them out to you. So we have Darth Bane as our number 4. We have this look, which is the one I think Ed likes a lot, and then you have sort of a more classic looking Darth Bane. Which is the one are we going with?
Well, the Darth Bane in the 3 3/4 inch one was kind of both because he has a mask. That one that we saw first is the mask version, and he takes that mask off, and you get the second version you showed off. Now, I
Right.
think I sent you a picture that actually had a different interpretation of Darth Bane, which I thought also looked really, really cool. But yeah, I mean, either way, they did a great job with him in the 3 3/4 inch line. They gave him a lot of accessories. He wields a purple lightsaber as well, which I think is a really interesting look. I mean, honestly, if we could only have one, I'm down with this one. I mean, I think that mask, the purple saber, just looks really neat.
Yeah, it's like this like coral looking shape
Yeah, yeah,
mask that he has. It's really intricate and pretty creepy.
yeah. I love it. I would go with that one if you make me choose, Michael.
If you had to choose, Larry, which one do you go with?
I gotta do the evil mask.
Evil mask version of Bane. Yeah, let's get both. Let's just do a 2-pack. Give me both, right?
Let's do it. Swappable heads. Let's not get too
Swappable heads. Come
Let's
on,
go ahead.
man. Make it worth the money. Make it worth the money, please. So Darth Bane number 4 in our top 3 now. Top 3. You know, we
This
were
is
going
where
back
it
and forth
gets
a little
good,
bit,
folks.
but these are obviously I think some of the most requested ones. Number 3 is Dirge.
Dirge.
I
Such an incredibly cool character, so underused. I always hated the fact that they decided to keep Asajj Ventress. I love Asajj Ventress. I'm not saying that I don't like her. I'm just saying that why not keep Dirge as well? Because he was such a fun character. This crazy ultimate bounty hunter, really kind of weird, kind of worm guy. I think this is what Larry looked like last week.
this is what yeah. This is Larry before and then Larry after the worm.
And so, just such a neat character, such a weird alien kind of species.
So
I would have
strange.
loved to see more of this guy. I would have loved to see him in the Clone Wars. I would love to see more. Let's bring him back. Let's find a way to bring him back and get some Dirge figures, man.
So then there's another question, sort of like with Bane, but there's very two specific versions of Dirge. You have this sort of armored, almost like Mad Max looking type of character, which I love as well. I love that figure. Or do you go the Cartoon Network Clone War version, which I also love? There's two different ways you can go with Dirge.
Well, I mean, he's pretty much similarly armored. There's just a little bit of skin showing on the arms of the other one. And then, it's all meant to enclose that kind of like wormish, creature that he is. So yeah, it's a hard one to decide with. Honestly, I would say let's go with the Clone Wars one, all armored. It kind of fits his whole mystique of like hiding his weird worm form underneath.
His Larry worm
That's what
form,
Larry
yeah.
does. So, yeah.
I say go big or go home. Because we don't have like he could be the size of like a Wampa or like a
Yeah.
little bit smaller. We don't have a lot of huge like Marvel has the Hulk and has the Juggernaut has these big deluxe figures.
Yeah,
The
he's
Black Series
definitely
doesn't have that. They got Chewbacca, Black Kirstan. You got
Yeah.
the Wookiees, but you don't have any big beefy like
yeah.
big deluxe figure. He could do that, and it would look really really
I would
cool.
love to see him in the size of a Wookiee, like real big and tall,
Yeah, he should be
wider.
massive. He should be massive. But I also love this look too. I love
Just
this
like you
look.
like your women, Michael.
Yeah, yeah.
8 foot wide and
8
beefy.
foot wide, beefy, wormy, can just manhandle me. Yeah, you know me so well.
I do.
Don't tell my wife that. Number 2 coming in our list. We talked about this one again, and number 1 and 2 were back and forth, but I think we settled on our number 2, which is Darth Talon. Larry, tell me about Darth Talon. Tell me why she belongs in the top list of Black Series figures.
Well, to me, she's my number one. She's in my heart all day, all night.
Darth
Because
Heart.
he's a
But yeah,
gooner.
Darth Talon is
He's a gooner.
she's a Sith Twi'lek. She looks
Darth
amazing. The black and red that Darth Maul made us all really like, she shows it even better. And with her red lightsabers and just how awesome she looks and her backstory. Originally, she could have been one of the main villains in the sequel trilogy, but they didn't go that route. And
Do
then
you
they used her in Star Wars Legacy, which takes place like 50 years after, with like Luke Skywalker's great grandson or whatever. And she's just an awesome Sith badass female character that would be amazing in a 6-inch form.
Yeah. What do you think, Ned?
I mean, she's a great character. I love her design. She's just super gothic, kind of with a crazy, tats and the red and like very like Darth Maul reminiscent. I love that. Just kind of like you can sense the kind of negative energy off of her. I love that they did her in 3 3/4 inch. I love that she's been in a lot of different media. I remember there was rumors that supposedly she was going to be used in some sort of way in one of the later. I don't know if it was movies or shows or whatever, but they backed away from that. And I really think that she deserves her spot in the limelight because what a great character. If you read anything about her backstories and stuff, she's just super, super cool. So I really would like to see her come into the main, continuity and, see some really cool figures. Definitely a 6-inch Black Series.
Yeah, she would be. I mean, she has such a fantastic design. There's already this like awesome lore regarding her, and again, just when it comes down to design, Sith lords are always the best. You can't go wrong with them, and Darth Talon definitely fits the bill. All right, our number 1. Now, this was, we talked about Darth Talon, but we felt like number 1 was pretty obvious. Without further ado, I think you guys all know it. Number 1, Jack Porkins. Jack Porkins is just the most classic character that we've.
How do we not have a 6-inch? We need it. We want it.
Give it to me.
Deluxe. He's a deluxe package.
Deluxe Porkins with exploding cockpit action. So, and a Slurpee.
Good thing you added the pit.
Slurpee full of gravy.
Bucket of KFC and gravy. No, number 1 for us, and this is going to the video games, but he's just the most badass character we can think of. Kyle Katarn. Goddamn Katarn. He's so cool. We need this one. This is just
such a great character. Really cool designs. So nostalgic. Big part of the games. How have we not gotten him yet? They did the 3 3/4 inch, figure. Why haven't we seen him in 6-inch? Hopefully, Dash Rendar. Hopefully Kyle isn't too far behind. Hope Hasbro makes it happen because this is definitely, I think, on the top of a lot of collectors' lists. So yeah, I hope to have him soon. I really do.
Laszlo, you were very much in agreement on. I know Darth Talon was number 1, but Kyle Katarn was number 2, and he was up there.
Yeah, since he debuted in the video games, he's been in the book form, the what do they call them now, legacies, the non-canon stuff.
Yeah,
but just waiting for him to.
But you love the non-canon. You love that non-canon book.
I read every single. That's why I was trying to throw Ben Skywalker and the Solo twins on the list here, but you guys wanted none
Oh
of it.
man, Ed was just shitting those ideas from the
He says
instant. He was
Disney
like,
does not call that legit anymore, so forget you.
"Yep,
All your
That
hours,
we don't read."
days I spent reading
that
all
is
those
not
books,
Star Wars. That is
worthless.
some
You
That's
wasted your
nerd old
life.
mumbo jumbo.
That's some
Wasted
nerd gobbledygook. Get your
Bookworm.
rich
years of
shit
my
out of
life
here.
down the drain.
You and Timothy Zahn can suck a fat one.
Oh no, you go too far. You take his name out of your mouth.
Oh, sorry,
No, but
sorry.
Kyle Katarn, yeah, he'll be an awesome figure. Like you said, Dash Rendar, I'm glad we're getting him.
Yep.
With Kyle Katarn, he has to be number one on everyone's list. I would think.
Absolutely. So there's our top 10
Top
most
10.
Black Series figures. We'll go really quick with our animals and vehicles. Laszlo, if you want to start with your animal and vehicle that you need in Black Series.
Well, I mean, since we're talking about the prequels are having a renaissance and everything, it's kind of I would have any of the ones from the arena scene, the Nexu, the Accolade, and then I really like the Reek, like the cool like rhino beast thing, with the horns and
You
everything.
reek too.
I think that
Oh,
would be
look, he
really
reek.
It'd be really cool, and I would love that in the Black Series side. And then a vehicle I would love would be a TIE Advance. I mean, the Black Series they kind of failed with the TIE Fighter when they did that huge thing. But I think the part of the TIE Fighter is those wings, those solar panel things were so huge. The TIE Advance works better, and it's freaking Vader's ship. So you package that with a nice Vader and a pilot, like a new design pilot suit. I think it would be really cool.
Yeah,
So
that's a really good one.
That is correct.
It's an iconic vehicle from the movies. I remember the toy back in the Power of the Force days. Such an awesome toy. It would make sense to do it as a Black Series. It's kind of crazy when you think about when Force Awakens came out. They just had a big ass TIE fighter out in Toys R Us, and you could just go to the store and pick it up. And nowadays, that would be a HasLab. You know,
Yeah.
Crazy.
so, and that was like it went on sale at a certain point where you could get it for $60. I think you know
I got mine for 12.
$12. You bastard!
Son of a bitch.
How did you do that?
I hate you!
Oh,
By the way,
man.
that TIE Advance as a HasLab, you throw in a couple the Black Squadron figures in there with it. They
Goon
could do that.
yeah. No, that's a really good idea. I think you have a very good vehicle idea. I'll go with my top creature feature. I think it would be impossible. I think with a crate dragon would just be insane. I don't know how you would make that happen. It just
Got to be HasLab.
well, yeah, HasLab, but then it's like I don't think Black Series you could. It just I was just trying to
Hey,
think of like the most
Look,
outlandish
look
creature.
what Mythic Legions did with the dragon. It can be
True.
done.
It opened up those doors. So I don't know if there's that big of a fervor for crate dragons as there are with Mythic Legion dragons, but you know, you
Yeah,
never know.
I would be all in. I mean, I want to see in the next Mandalorian if they do the movie to finish it off. I really hope they teased with the crate dragon in the waters of Mandalore.
Yeah,
You got to see a little bit of its face, but we never really got to see what it looked like. I would hope that in the next movie we get to see a full crate dragon and it just blows everybody's mind away. And Hasbro is
blow my
got
mind
that on the
away.
short list for HasLab because I would be all on that.
For a HasLab, for me, this is my number one. This is my most requested thing. It goes with Shadows of the Empire. It goes with Dash Rendar. This is the Outrider, Dash Rendar's vehicle. I just have such specific memories of the Outrider in Shadows of the Empire, walking through it, and then the toy, the Power of the Force, Shadow of the Empire 90s vehicle. That thing was amazing. The mechanics of it. I just was in Dallas 2 weeks ago, and I went to a store, and it was just laying on the floor, and I just sort of propped it open and did the whole mechanics of swiveling the inside portion of it. It was super fun. It just brought me
Did you
back
buy
to
it, Michael?
I wanted to, I just couldn't fit it, but I would go 110% in
Just
on what?
never mind. Never mind. Dark thoughts, Michael.
You have dark thoughts. You
You are a Sith Lord.
really are. You're just a bad person. It's just that hour where you start losing your
It's just
mind.
getting late. Bad things creep into my mind.
um just ruined my life. This Outrider would be fantastic. We're just
It would
talking
be.
toys
I
still.
remember going over to your house, and you
Yeah.
always had that guy when you whoa.
Whoa.
Who you winking at? I'm like, what do you got planned
The
after the
Empress right now. So
I remember going
um
to your house and you had this laying around your room, and it was always fun to grab it and kind of play with it and switch it around. It was a really cool ship. I would really like to see something like this come back in a big scale, like a HasLab project.
yeah, yeah, give this to me. 6 inch might be kind of crazy, but 3 3/4, all in. Give me Dasha and Dara, give me some other characters, but I would be.
Chewbacca as a bounty hunter.
Yeah, Chewbacca Bounty Hunter. He was also in my honorable mentions, my personal ones, but you could throw him in there as well. And now, Ned, you want to give us your creature feature and your vehicle?
Yeah, I have more of a recent creature that I would like to see, and I guess this just stems with for my love of lichens, but the Loth Wolf I thought was such a cool character. Ezra and encounters them, and it kind of leads them to the Bendu, and it was just such a neat creature, and the way they portrayed it in the show. I thought it'd be cool to have one that you could pose with your Star Wars figures. There he is, just a neat creature, really cool. I love wolf stuff, so yeah, I thought this would be a really fun one to get.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it would be a
especially
really cool
like
creature.
a big one in like a 6 inch figure scale that like stand
Yeah, like
real
articulated, legs, like what you would see
the
in the
old dire
Mando
wolf in
creatures.
the
Yeah,
Star Wars universe. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It's a really cool design.
Pretty
So
cool. Do
Yeah.
do a pack with a Loth cat and maybe some little more
Yeah.
other
Yeah. Throw those cats in there. It'd be
do a
really
little
cool.
creature pack with the wolf would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I would love that. And then going back old school, a ship that I've always loved. I thought when I saw this originally, I thought it was such a cool design and just like the idea behind it, because I thought it just made so much more sense than what they did later on. Because Anakin was this tinkerer, he built his own pod racer, and so he took a Jedi Starfighter and he modded it. And I just thought, wow, what a cool idea! He put these huge thrusters or turbines on the front of it, and you took that kind of classic Jedi Starfighter that they designed for the Clone Wars, and I think this was based off of the one Obi-Wan uses. And what a neat design, with the extra wings and tail, and the cool sunburst on yeah, there you see it in flight mode. Love this vehicle. I mean, if they could do this in a 6 inch scale with a new pilot Anakin, I would be very, very excited. Such a neat ship. I wish they would design. I wish he would have used this one in the movies. I mean, it's so neat.
yeah, Jedi Starfighters are so cool. It might be. I love the prequel vehicles. I think those are the best vehicles in all of Star Wars.
Yeah, there's definitely some cool ones there.
I personally like those. I just like the design of those. They just feel a little bit more. I don't know if it's just like intricate, and just like the custom paint jobs each vehicle had. I mean, I love X-wing. X-wing is my favorite ship of all time. But I just love the Jedi Starfighters, the Naboo Starfighter. I think those are really badass designs.
I
It's
just
just
feel like
funny
if I
that
was like walking on a lot of all the Star Wars ships, and you're like, oh, that's so cool, that's so cool. But then you walk up on this guy. This is definitely the one I would want to jump in and fly around in. It's just so neat.
yeah, it's really cool. It's funny though to see, like you said, the prequel vehicles are really cool. But how did those awesome vehicles lead into the designs we got for the original trilogy?
Don't ask those questions, Larry. Like they're just gonna keep you up at night, and there's no plausible
No,
answer.
it's the Galactic Empire and tariffs and everything.
It's a
Creativity
terror. There's a terror.
There, there you go.
stamped down, and that's what happened.
Question
Well,
solved.
well, it's funny, yeah, because if you look at the storyline, it's like all the tariffs caused people to
That's what it
not,
was.
like afford their lives. So then
To
they had to,
manufacture anything.
yeah, they had to
You
build it
know,
in home. They couldn't import different pieces, and that's how you get X-wing and junk planes
And
and
Y-wing. That's not even. It's like
Y-wing.
a
Exactly,
boat. It can't fly. It makes no
exactly.
sense.
weren't the people from like the Trade Federation the ones in the movie when they're like supposedly like the Chinese? It wasn't like modeled after that.
I don't know if they're modeled after that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's a
You
whole
can see
thing
like
about 'em. They
oh,
have like
model
they
after.
have like Asian accents, and everybody was like, "Why are they speaking with Asian accents?"
Yeah, it was very heavy-handed how they did that part.
I don't know. Maybe it was foreshadowing. We don't know.
I mean,
George Lucas is from the future. That's all.
he really is from the future, and he's a master
Got
at
tariffed.
subtlety, clearly.
Star
So
Wars. Star
yeah,
Wars got tariffed.
he sees subtext and he just takes a big old dump on it. So
Well,
yeah,
why don't we stop talking about toys and actually like look at some?
that is a great idea, and we have a segment just for that for new figures called New Figure Smell.
Love that new figure smell.
Laszlo, what do you have for us today?
Well, the scene with Dash Rendar, and we're talking about the Outrider and all the Shadows of the Empire resurgence that's coming out. I was able to get Prince Shizor, the leader of the Black Sun.
She's all that.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I gotta say, he was always a cool villain that was showed up in the books first, and then I think he showed up
Nerd.
in. Yep. And I was always hoping that they would make a TV series or do a movie or something about that time period because you get, I mean, you get Chewbacca as a bounty hunter, you get Luke and the red stormtrooper armor thing, and
Yeah,
all.
I need to get that one, and I never got Leia in the Bouche disguise, so it makes sense to get the 2-pack.
And it was so cool because it was more like an espionage spy, like all the disguises and like Star
Like
Wars.
Andor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, I love the game, and that's my reference point for this character. But I think he looks awesome. I still need to get mine from Hidden Temple Toys, obviously,
On its way.
and I need to get Dash Rendar. These are two must-haves. How does he feel in hand?
He's awesome. They even still did the little the cloth goods, the soft goods, but everything else is plastic.
Yeah,
But he's really cool. The detail is awesome. Even his awesome shiny belt buckle.
Looks like he needs a nail clipper.
Hey, he's a Faline. They have long nails. It's part of the deal.
who knows that kind of stuff?
There's a really
Yeah.
nice Asian's own spa.
Why do you bring Asian people into this?
But he's really cool. The figure's really cool.
Leave
I've been
him
waiting for
alone.
this figure for a long time.
They do the best nails.
Just stop. Just leave it alone.
You guys like to make everything bad, and I'm just saying they do good nails.
Okay. Prince Isor, great nails, great figure. Excited to add him to the collection and
Very
get
cool.
that
Definitely gonna
Shredder.
pick one up.
Yeah. Super cool. I don't have any Star Wars figures on the way. I almost bit on the May the 4th sales on Amazon. I was thinking of getting the Luke, but I just wasn't crazy about the head sculpt on the new one. I don't know if you guys have taken a look at it or if you guys own that one, but I was just not a super fan of it.
I think it looks pretty good. I mean, I've had it at the shop and
All pretty good.
I like it. I think they're definitely improving on a lot of the heads, and that one. I mean, is it enough to buy another one? Maybe not. But if you want a nice looking farm boy Luke, I wouldn't mind picking it up.
You love your farm boys. Um, we have so much love for Star Wars. We've collected so many Star Wars in the past, and so that just means we got plenty of things to show you on the Yellow Wing.
Aye.
What do you have for us on the Yellow Wing today, Ned?
Well, being Star Wars Day, I thought it really fun. We talked about this. We all want to be like, hey, let's
Dance.
Is it coming through? It says the yellowing. I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't. There it goes. So I wanted to show off my favorite figure, and that's what I was trying to get to. Is that we wanted to say, hey, what's the coolest Star Wars collectible figure, whatever in your collection that you really enjoy? And for me, it's probably this guy right here. This is Anakin, aka Darth Vader from the Obi-Wan series. Now, I wanted a Darth Vader for my Hot Toys collection, just because I like to collect some of these main characters, and I really wanted a cool Darth Vader, and I was gonna buy one of the older ones, and then this one was announced, and he just came with so much stuff, and I have it here with the traditional look with the full mask and everything, but it also comes with like the cracked open mask from the show where you can see Anakin inside all evil and gnarly, and he comes with like extra accessories so he looks all kind of like battle damaged.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he is such a well done figure. This is, obviously 1/6 scale, super detailed. He comes with all the lights and everything that Hot Toys normally comes with. I don't have them turned on right now because I took the batteries out of them. But he's just such a great display piece. And like, I'll try to close in a little bit on this one so you guys can kind of check out how well done this figure is and all the cool details that he's got. But I just love the way they designed him. And Hot Toys always does an amazing job with the soft goods, the display,
Yeah.
and so much detail and a lot of fun accessories. So yeah, this was probably one of the coolest Star Wars collectibles that I have. I really, really like this Vader.
He's
So
super cool looking. You can't go wrong with Vader, and that looks like a pretty ultimate Vader right there. I'll go in with a game of Vader as well. I like my villains. So this is just the Figuarts Darth Vader and Figuarts Darth Maul. I never got the OG version, but I love that this was all cloth goods on Darth Vader. The only issue I have is the neck is a little scrunchy. It's just a little, it makes the helmet look a little low, and
you mean because the cape is kind of thick on it?
the cape is a little thick. The chain is a little tight. I think if this cape draped down a little bit, I think just the wiring on here
I
is
see. I see what you're saying.
yeah. It's
Piece of
just
crap.
yeah. It just sort of. Oh God, I can't with you, man. Um, so yeah, it just looks a little thick on him, and it just makes him look a little like
Mikey,
tight.
this was supposed to be your favorite figure, not a piece of shit.
But he's my favorite Darth Vader figure, so it's my favorite compared to all the Black series that are out there. So,
He's like,
and
this
same
is my
thing for Darth
figure. I
Maul.
want to show. It's not that great. I don't like the head. I don't like the neck. I don't like the chain.
I'm just
That's
being
okay.
objective about it. I think he's really great. So I
I'm
don't need
just
you poo
busting
pooing
your
me, all right?
balls.
You're just like ruining my vibe right now, dude.
Sorry,
And
man.
He
Sorry.
gets tired and angry.
he really does, man. He's all crotchety. Well, he's been sitting in the chair for the last 3 hours. He's all sweaty and swollen, probably.
Well,
But
tell us what you like about it, Michael.
I love just the look. I love the size of it. I love the quality of the like just the plastic, the helmet, the interchangeable. This is also the Obi-Wan version, so he has the split open helmet as well. So you get
Oh,
the Anakin head inside of it, which I think is really cool, and you get the chart up piece that you can switch his iPad that's there, his calculator, and I think he's really imposing, and he looks really good amongst all my other characters. And Darth Maul is just I love the design, and I think the figure arts really killed it. It's a super fun figure to play with, and
yeah. He definitely seems like one that would benefit from Mafex or Figure Arts articulation and posability. Darth Maul is just such a dynamic figure
yeah.
character.
Yeah, exactly. In the movie, he just moves all over the place, so it makes sense for
Mhm.
figure arts to do a version of him, and I like it a lot. Laszlo, I see you messing around with a few things that look pretty nice. What do you got for us?
Yeah, you had to talk about how the vehicles and prequels are better. I disagree because my
Oh,
favorite vehicle, favorite toy when I had one as a kid was the B-wing fighter. It was always awesome. I loved the rotating cockpit and that the design was so unique. Like it's not symmetrical. It's there's nothing else that looks like it. The X-wing is cool, and that's the first vehicle everyone sees and identifies with the original trilogy. But this is my bad boy that I like, and I still have this one sealed up. I think I got this from the now no longer around Kmart.
what?
Kmart exclusive.
Yeah,
Kmart, man, I
I
remember
love
that
this. I
place.
mean, it would be crazy to do it in 6-inch scale, but I mean, it's not a lot. It's like gangly and lanky, but it's not a lot. It's not a huge ship.
Just like you, David.
Yeah, it's a single
Hey,
fighter,
Link.
single pilot fighter that they could do if they really wanted to, and I
They could
would
do
buy
it.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm with David on this one. The B wing has definitely been on the top of my Star Wars ships. I have my B wing hiding over here behind my um, chair here, but yeah, it's one of the coolest designs. I really wish they would have more screen time because the design of that ship is so cool. Just like Larry said, all the cool moving, cockpit, the wings that open up, the way it configures when it flies, you can fly it vertically, horizontally. Really, really cool ship. And so
yeah.
I would love to see more
Yeah,
B wing stuff.
yeah.
Give it to
Oh,
us in 6 inch.
Yeah,
that'd be
that,
massive. I mean, I'm still surprised we haven't got it in X-wing in 6 inch.
Yeah, I think when we got that TIE fighter from the
Hasbro.
Black Series, I think a lot was riding on that to see if we would get something else, maybe the X-Wing.
Yeah,
And because that one seemed to be, and I don't really know if it was price that really got people not picking it up. I think it just had to do with size. I think just a lot of people are like, where in the world am I going to put it? It's expensive, it's big, and
yeah.
a lot of people
my
passed on it. So my theory is that's why we haven't gotten an X-Wing, but I really hope that one day we'll get a 6 inch scale X-Wing to put
I
our
th-
Luke
I
in.
love some X-wings. I think what it was is that it wasn't the OG TIE fighter too. It was a
yeah,
Force Awakens style. And I think people wanted just the classic blue gray TIE fighter.
and I think that predated HasLab. It was ahead of its time too. I don't think
Yeah,
no mom was going looking for Christmas toys, going into Toys R Us. I'm going to buy this huge thing for my kids.
right.
And I think if they never would have done that and started off with an X-wing as the first HasLab, it would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Because
Honestly, I believe that too. If I mean, either anytime they would decide to do a HasLab with an X-Wing, I think it would fund pretty easily. I
yeah,
think it's just one of those things that people don't really care. They just, it's something that's so big, so iconic, so cool. And you see how well Hasbro's doing with the 6 inch scale figures on G.I. Joe HasLabs, like the Rattler, the Dragonfly, a lot of big flying ships. So why can't we get an X-Wing in 6 inch? I don't really see a reason not to do it. So I don't know. I feel that you know, sooner or later, Hasbro's going to do it, and I think we'll definitely get our opportunity to own one of those.
prediction time. Next HasLab for Star Wars is
X-wing.
Laszlo,
TIE Advanced.
Deluxe Jack Porkins.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go,
Michael.
I'm gonna go Outrider. I'm gonna ride or die with Outrider, man. So
I'd rather be awesome. And with the love they're giving the video game stuff, that might not be too far, of a stretch to think that they could do it.
I just like if you look at how the HasLabs have gone, it's always tying into something that's current or something that's been popular. Rebels, Mandalorian. So I'm trying to think of what vehicles that would correlate with stuff that's out now with Star Wars. I can't really think of one. So I think you go back to OG. I think it's an X-wing or TIE Fighter Advance. I think those are classic vehicles that you would do in HasLab for sure.
Yeah, I just feel that they need to go back to Star Wars HasLab. I think they've had some issues funding Star Wars stuff, and we haven't seen anything in 6 inch in a bit, right? I think the last one was the Ghost, was it?
No, they haven't done 6 inch.
No, 3 3/4 inch. What was the last HasLab for Star Wars?
Ghost.
The
Right,
Ghost.
it was
Yeah.
the Ghost, and then I think because we were going to get the Rancor, and that failed, and so I believe that they would do something in 6 inch because they didn't get a chance to do it last time. So hopefully we'll get something like that, something that's much more desired, and hopefully they work on the value that you get there. So and I don't know. I just feel like X-wing is a shoe in,
Yep.
regardless of how much they give you with it or without it. You just really want the X-wing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be a
That
really
is
easy
correct.
to do,
Yeah.
like Vader says.
Like Vader said. Vader says also, if you want to get the latest in toys, you can go to Hidden Temple Toys.
Yeah. Visit us at Hidden Temple Toys. You know where to find us on our website, www.hiddentempletoys.com, and come visit me in Selma, North Carolina, right off the 95.
Give him a little shake and a slap.
There
Tell
you
him
go.
Figures Not
Yeah.
Included sent you.
Figures not included. Mention figures not included. Get 5% off.
You
You
forgot the
heard it
name
here,
of
folks.
you forgot the name of the show for a second.
No, I didn't. I said figures not
Like
included.
Figures Not Included.
No, that's
There's
fake
a little break in
news.
your voice. There's a little
No,
break
it
in your
Fake news.
voice.
I can't hear you.
It fits your face so proportionally. It's so good.
You're just jealous that you don't have a cool helmet, so make all the jokes you want. It looks freaking awesome.
It looks a little mic piece next to your mouth. It looks so good.
That's what it's supposed to look like.
I know. It's just like it just fits your face so snugly. It's great.
It doesn't fit snugly. It's not supposed to fit.
Why are you so defensive?
Why are you so aggressive?
I'm not being aggressive. I'm just calling it like it is. I like this
Mhm.
too. It's like a little dark writing.
Yeah, not all Sith Lords are bad guys. So
It's
they have
true.
parts
It's
too.
true. They're just misunderstood. Really.
Mikey just Larry just looks like a homeless man. Looks like somebody will be like on the exit off a highway asking for change with like a piece of cardboard.
You will give me change.
You will give me your change.
You will buy me a burrito. Darth Hobo.
Oh, that's the figure I want.
Okay.
Top of my list. Darth Vader.
Oh man.
All right,
Thank you guys for hanging.
Yeah,
Thank you for talking, Star Wars with us on this May the 4th. Remember
Revenge of the
tomorrow,
Fifth is coming.
Revenge of the 5th. Let your dark side fly. Mikey, you do that every day, so
I let it
it's just
fly
like
out,
any
baby.
other Tuesday for you, buddy.
It is. It is. But you know what? We wish we could take our figures with us, but unfortunately,
Take our figures with us?
isn't that what we say?
No, we have our figures.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
you can't take your
Of course we're
figures.
taking them with us. No,
I'm
we're
not taking
saying
anything with
we
me.
would love to give our viewers these awesome figures that we showed off here today,
That's
but
what it is.
unfortunately,
Figures
are not
not
included.
included. Like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Goodbye.
Terrible at this, Michael.
I know.
I don't know what to say after that.
1, 2, 1, 2.
I am just a
Just
Sith
told
Lord,
and
and
my
my
story
story
seldom
seldom
told.
told.
You guys really suck.
This is a terrible song.
Jedi,
We should have not done this at all.
Jedi, Jedi.
Jedi.
Jedi die, Jedi die,
Jedi.
Jedi die, Jedi die.
Jedi. Jedi.